Rob Reiner was murdered today in his home by his son. Let me show you how insane astrology is by how you can literally see it in his transit. The two most important points in your chart are your ascendant and your midheaven, okay? Because these move on average 1 degree every 4 minutes. That's what makes you different from everybody else born the same day as you. It goes around the whole thing every day. You see his ascendant was right here in Scorpio, which Scorpio rules over murder and death, okay? It's conjunct Chiron, a wound. And also he has Jupiter in that Scorpio, which Jupiter rules our suns, okay? And then midheaven, you have conjunct Pluto, which Pluto is again the modern ruler of Scorpio, and it is associated with murder and death. And that is, your midheaven is what you will end up being known for. So this is what he'll be known for. It's in the sign of Leo, which Leo rules our children. The traditional ruler of Scorpio is Mars, and the ruler of Leo is the sun, and those are both in Pisces' 5th house, which 5th house is the house of children. And Pisces is a sign associated with escapism and alcoholism and addiction, okay? And his son had struggled with addiction issues for a long time. He'd been to rehab like 17 times, I think. And we have the sun there in this T-square with the moon, which is like his emotions, and then the vertex. The vertex shows fated events, and that is in the 8th house, Gemini, which a Gemini is also associated with children. And vertex is like fated things outside of your control. And T-squares are like a challenging aspect, right? And then that sun was also making a square with Uranus. Uranus is like unexpected events, and like it rules the way we think, like divergence. Now, Mars was his chart ruler, and today in the transits, Mars was square Neptune. Okay, so that's like anger under the influence. His son was probably under the influence here when this happened. And transit Pluto was directly on his natal Venus, like to the minute. Pluto was at 2:13, and this is 2:12. Pluto only moves 1 or 2 astro minutes per day, okay? So it was that exact. And opposite that Saturn there. And that Neptune was at 29th degrees. 29th degrees are about endings, and it's in the 5th house of children. Again, and the north node, karmic events, was there on the sun with the south node on the moon. The south node and moon are both points that are often activated in charts. The last eclipse that we had was right at this same degree, okay? So that was showing, that was started a chain of events that led to this. And Jupiter's currently in retrograde and in a square with Chiron. And Uranus had gone back to Algol, which Algol is associated with losing our head, losing our mind, both mentally and like getting wounded in the head, or like being beheaded. Now, with all these Venus connections, it seems like he was probably cut in the throat. I'm not sure. And also he stopped